The catch is that she does threesomes with her hot friends.
What up, guys? Welcome to the Just Pearly Things YouTube channel. Today, I'm reacting to myself, yours truly, going on Punchy TV. So that's Jesse Lee Peterson's network. They have a show there. And I was just in LA, so while I was there, I did go on the show. And I was explaining to the conservative guys, because a lot of conservative guys, they automatically think that men that marry porn stars are simps. And I mean, they kind of are, right? I mean, a bit. But I had to red pill them on how these women pull this off.
Saw this ugly post on X. I'm getting used to not calling it a tweet. From this person, this account posted out like a screenshot of this. She said, "This is the most famous, one of the most famous porn stars in the world," and has a little baby.
That's the one I was talking about.
Oh, Riley
and then there's a
Reid.
dude. They're like a good-looking little family, though. Come on.
Oh, wait. So what is it?
Is this because we need more white babies? You're
Not
like, at least.
necessarily.
Like, at least.
The guy is saying that the dude is a failure of a man, and I get it because that's not right that she was doing all that stuff. But they look great. I mean, I don't know that much about the whole story.
Okay, but you're
She got tag teamed on camera. That's what happened.
saying there's a chance that that is decent.
To her point about, don't see a difference between the Christian girls and the porn stars.
No.
Well, the difference is the Christian women have it, but it's just not on camera. See? They're doing a different strategy. Like, the women go the strategy of wife a hoe. Hey, I'm a hoe. And the men are like, oh, I kind of like hoes. Where the conservative women go, I'm a bitch. But not all, right? There's some nice ones too. But, but I haven't slept with a bunch of dudes. And they're like, oh, okay, well, it's nice. You don't have any, you're not getting tag teamed online. More men will go with that, right? That means kind of embarrassing. But there's some men that say, hey, I want some really good gluck. And that's what they go with.
No, I could tell you how she pulled that off. You want to know how she pulled that off?
And he doesn't look that. He doesn't look like a plain.
You want to know the catch?
Yeah, go ahead.
He was leaning in that photo.
Whoa, was he?
No, I'll tell you.
I think the poor, like, they're like innocent guy. I mean, they seem, and there's me conniving. I'm like, do I have to say it? I got to say it.
I believe.
How does a porn star get married? Right? How do they do it?
I believe like superstitions about leaning in. So
Yeah.
Okay.
No, the catch is that she does threesomes with her hot friends. So she, like, in their marriage, he gets to all her hot friends. That's how she got married. Like, that's
well, the picture looks.
That's a pretty.
These are like pastor guys. They can't say what they're really thinking, which is That's not the worst deal I've ever heard of.
Picture looks great though, right?
it does.
Anybody?
The Instagram.
Yeah, if I was king,
The family pic, it looks
Like
good.
he's like, I could.
This guy was more red pilled than these two guys. He's kind of thinking about it.
Forgive your past if you're bringing all of your hot friends.
Oh,
like that's
shameful.
like.
So
I mean, what would you guys put up with for 2 threesomes a week? What would you put up with? Be honest. I mean, so every let's say Wednesday, Saturday night, there's a third girl that comes by that's hotter than your wife. What would you put up with? Could you put up with the sex tape on the internet for that? Now, I'm not saying you should or you shouldn't, right? Obviously, that's very risky to have a kid with a literal porn star, but it's risky having a kid with a conservative woman. At some point, men will say, well...
in your mind...
I'm not saying it's good or bad, right?
Yeah.
I'm just saying a lot of guys are like, you know what?
And I think that's why he went for that. People are wondering, like, why would he do that? Why would he do that? It's honestly the sex.
And these are some of the most
and liking how she looks.
And
right.
she's bringing
And her friends.
Yeah, she's bringing some of the most attractive
Right.
women on the planet to be with her.
Yeah.
Like twice a week, you get a
I can
threesome
see how
with
that could be
another
an
hot
effective
chick.
one.
Yeah, see, even the pastors are like, do you know what? It's not the worst idea in the
We
world.
are,
I can see that. I
ladies.
can see that.
She's
Not
just
who we are.
smarter than the trad chicks who just try to put on a dress and
Yeah.
are like it across.
You know, I can
bet
see
you
that.
I
though.
bet they have a higher marriage rate because they'll figure out a workaround like that.
Can I jump in with one
Go
more
ahead.
thing?
Because when you think about it, right, what value does dressing modestly in public give a man? I guess less men hit on you, right? But like, what does the guy get out of it? He gets way more out of the threesome twice a week, way more. As most of you know, I have been fighting on the front lines of the simp epidemic for years, but I need to tell you about a quiet weapon being ratcheted up against men that is rarely talked about. It's not just the relentless anti-masculinity propaganda and OnlyFans hoes causing the societal issues that we discuss on this show. Did you know that the average city's tap water contains trace pharmaceuticals and endocrine disruptors? This often includes estrogen from birth control. The average adult consumes a credit card worth of plastic every single week. That's 5 grams of plastic a week on average. So it's no wonder that the average male's testosterone is half of what the average was 50 years ago. Testosterone levels decline 1% a year, and without a course correction, we are headed towards extinction. No matter how based you are, you need to be naturally boosting your testosterone. My friends at Chalk, CHOQ.com, are on a mission to save mankind from extinction by boosting your vitality. Chalk's Male Vitality Stack contains premium and potent herbs clinically studied to naturally boost your testosterone levels, sperm count, and overall vitality. Just one of the many ingredients in the Male Vitality Stack was studied in double-blind human clinical trials to boost total testosterone 20% in 90 days. When you boost your testosterone, you'll have more mental clarity, you're more capable of making decisions and taking risks. Having high testosterone will also affect your pheromones, so women will find you more attractive subconsciously. Get the Chalk Male Vitality Stack right now on chalk.com. That's CHOQ.com. Use my name Pearl as your coupon code and you'll get 25% off site-wide on chalk.com. That's CHOQ.com. My name Pearl is the discount code.
Related to the appearance of like public figure people.
Mm-hmm.
You liked, I think, T Swift and not Tim Tebow. Kels.
Travis.
One of those.
I don't know.
Yeah, Travis Kels. You probably know better than me. You still like that couple? Are you pro them?
I think they look cute together. I don't know if it'll work because it is Taylor Swift, right?
Right.
But
yeah.
I think they might have a kid.
Just because of her songs, she always has these nasty breakup songs.
Yeah.
She's been publicly with a few guys.
Yeah, women want to be like the heroes and the victims of their own stories. So
Yeah,
she gets to
they're
be
conflicted.
like both. Yeah.
Pearl, would you say, can I ask something else?
Yeah.
So, these guys might call me black-pilled. I'm a little bit more
My guy.
pessimistic, but I really don't.
You're just honest.
I don't find myself pessimistic. I don't really see myself like that.
Yeah.
But despite that, do you think, Pearl, you could almost call this maybe what I'm doing, maybe I'm devil's advocate or something here. Mm-hmm. Would you say that everything we've described, the landscape you've set out here, is there still a difference between these exaggerated examples that we see and talk about and just like the average milieu people, where everything we're talking about is still in them, but they're just average, they're just regular people? That's not as exaggerated. Do you think there's a difference in there?
No. I think every time you get a group of people, women are going to go for the top 20%. It's like pastors have a reputation for like 50% of pastors have had affairs, and that's admitted. So it's probably higher, right?
Mm-hmm.
You get a group of people together, it's always the women are going to go for 20% of men and then convince the next 20 to 30% of men that they didn't.
And you guys fall for it every time. You do. Every single time. My girl isn't like that. Right.
Percentage is just going to keep getting smaller and smaller.
But what's wrong with
it's going to be 5%?
What's wrong
10%.
with the men, though, Pearl? That the men. Well, finish your point, Nick.
No, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're on it.
What's wrong with the men that the men cannot recognize they're being played?
You're on it.
I mean, okay, I'm not trying to come at you, right? But you see the market. Why don't you want a prenup? Like, it's kind of like, it's like men.
Yes.
I don't know what it is.
I'm hilarious. It's like, guys, I'm like, you do the news. You have to know what's going on. Because earlier in the conversation, he said he thinks prenups, like men shouldn't want prenups because it's like preparing to fail or some bullshit. I mean, should I not put on a seatbelt if I'm getting in the car, even though I'm a good driver? You know,
but it's like I could say, hey, point A, point B, why this girl's a whore, but men. Maybe it's because they just like. I think they need sex. I think sex is a need for men, and it becomes so difficult to get. And it keeps getting harder and harder every year for like normal guys that they just are like, fine, use me.
No,
it's cheaper it's cheaper than finding like it's because I forgot I've done rates of like what prostitutes are for an hour. So it's like I have to put up with her shit or go pay $250 for an hour.
We need to educate.
And plus, you don't want to get put in jail if it's not legal in your state. Yada yada.
Caveman on the street price of. Sorry.
I don't remember. It's been a while since I looked at the numbers, but I think
it's in
like,
rap songs.
Yeah, I don't.
So
because I've had escorts, prostitutes on the show. So I mean,
Pearl,
those are their options. Sorry. They do that. They do porn, like
So, but basically,
do you respect
what
a man like that?
Do I respect?
Like a different question, a man who needs sex, do you respect him?
Well, I think all men need sex. I think like society always wants to shame the male sex drive, but they're men.
But do you, Pearl, respect a man that you meet that needs sex?
Yeah. Like
Fair?
that's
no,
all
I just wanted
to to me, I'm like that's every guy.
But right, but meaning like if the guy is now like subject to you because say you have given him this said sex and he's now like
that's why
all up under you.
I mean, that's like why the only real leverage men have is cheating. Like that's the only leverage that you have is fear that you'll cheat. That's why men do it. I'm not saying it's right?
Wait, you think that men have?
What other leverage as a man do you have other than other women?
But men don't really use that, do they? Men don't really.
We don't knowingly use it.
but they don't use it as leverage. I've never known. I don't know. Go. I've only ever known men in movies and among my friends. They just can't help themselves, so they cheat secretly.
Yeah.
They don't use it for leverage against the woman.
Yeah, but women can feel it.
Yeah, they know.
So, yeah, women know.
But
like
he's
women.
not trying to control her. That I know of.
Well, it might not be like conscious, but why do you think Melania like doesn't act up? Like why? Like she's on good behavior because Trump can and will replace her. Like that is the only leverage.
I think of her as well trained, though.
I mean, here's the thing, though.
Yeah, but come on, Stormy Dan, he was doing it. Come on.
I don't know.
But
maybe not.
So this is what I feel like
that was 05.
Like maybe
she
leaving
was pregnant.
out in some elements is the element of the possibility that maybe, let's just say Melania, don't know, maybe she just is a decent woman. Maybe she's just a decent lady who has moral values. Maybe had a past. She was a model. Maybe had a past, but maybe came to this revelation that she no longer wants to live this way and wants to be loyal to her husband.
And he is a decent man.
Correct.
Well, and he's realistic.
Yeah, but I just don't think that she would be a decent woman if he was a simp.
I agree.
I don't. I think even
because
why
would she be married?
Yeah, right. I think even good women become terrible. Like
where were the men before Trump? She was like 28 when she met him, so she dated other dudes.
I've seen women better than me. Where I'm
like,
that's why I say I'm not special because I've seen women better than me do worse than I think.
That was the most blackpilling. Oh my gosh, that was the most blackpilling experience ever. So I would interview these guys that were divorce raped, right? And they would describe their ex-wives, and a lot of them, by every metric, were better people than me. And I'm not saying I'm the worst person ever, but I could do better, right? I could be more charitable. Sometimes I can be bitchy. I could do better. I'm not like murdering babies or puppy, but. And they would describe these women. They'd be church-going women. They'd be women that didn't ever drink, women that didn't go to college, women that married younger than me. And I would think, wow, if you destroyed your husband and you're better than me by every metric on paper, does that mean every woman's capable of it? I think so. I do.
I think I would do. Right. But I'm like, you're by every like moral standard, I would think would never do that. Then they do. But it's like, if they sense simp, you're cooked. Done.
Because if this woman that was deciding to live right and all that, then she just wouldn't either get married or not necessarily get out. Oh, I'm with a simp, I'm going to get out. Maybe she'll do the honorable thing. I don't know. But this woman wouldn't desire such a relationship is all I'm saying. She wouldn't desire a wrong relationship with a wrong man.
Right.
And by simp, you mean
She wouldn't desire a relationship with the wrong man. Yeah, we fall in love with criminals. Yes, we do. I might have misheard him.
weak to her?
Weak to her.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Like, describe it. I put words in your mouth.
Happy
Simp.
wife. Can you come out with us? Let me ask my wife. That's
Yeah.
what I know.
No,
That's
it's
when I
true.
know
though.
you're done.
But women sense that. I think you mentioned it too. Women sense
neediness.
that there's a weakness there, and they take advantage of it. Even if they don't want to, they can't help but to take advantage of that weakness. And I think that if men overcame sex, because I think sex is a big part of the reason why women can control men, is because the men don't want to miss out on something. They don't want to lose out on something. But if a man's focus is not on the woman, or he overcomes like the desire to want to get her because she's only because she's beautiful, then he can properly lead. And if that's the case, isn't there a chance that if a man is leading and he's exhibiting that leadership, that a woman just wants to follow him because she sees that he's an actual man, and she'll stay loyal? Isn't that possible in some realm?
I've never seen a guy overcome sex.
See, yeah, that's. Please sell hope, Pearl. Please.
How about contain him?
Maybe there are
discipline
these like
himself?
mystery men that don't like it. But this always happens. Like to be like, there's always some church that's peddling this, and then the pastor's always having an affair. Like, you know,
That's what
and I'm like, they're always
That's
like,
true.
"Oh, I've overcome sex," and that they
a
see the
good
thoughts
point.
in the front row, and they're like, "You know what?"
That's a good point. And maybe men realize they shouldn't even talk about it, and
Like,
they don't. But,
Because it's like, okay, you could say you overcame sex, but if women aren't trying, then did you?
right,
Do you know what I mean?
That's
Like-
another one, too.
Like
Yeah.
how many? I have to look at like men in those positions to see
Yeah.
what they would do, right? So like athletes, actors, men that have women throwing themselves at them 24/7.
Yeah.
I mean, even Trump like caved. You know what I mean?
Allegedly.
And Trump is like he's a great man, right?
Yeah.
He's a awesome person, but sex is a need for men, and they just always love hot young things.
Trump is not the best example. I think that he saw it,
Yeah, and you think pastors are a good example? Nah, Nasky, not.
but I don't think Trump is the best example, only because Trump.
I do think there's more monogamous men, but they're just not rewarded, and women tend to take advantage. I'm not saying it's impossible. I just wouldn't bet on it.
Came from Hollywood, young.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty much the gist of my Punchy TV experience. But if you guys like this, I'll react to a couple more. Let me know what you think in the comments. Please like the video on your way out and subscribe to the channel. Ring that notification bell, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.